It's September 25th, and I just wanted to go through my deer and big game hunting backpack. A lot of stuff that's in here is what I take with me to the stand that is not considered filming. So I haven't opened this since last season, so I'm not exactly sure everything that is even in here. I mean, we might find, who knows what. But I wanted to go through all this, and so that way we could show you what I take deer hunting with me. I don't do spot and stalk. We don't have enough acreage for that. I do go, we go to a stand, and then we come back from the stand in the for lunch in the midday, and then we go back out to the stand for evening hunting 100 acres here in Texas on low fence. I want to make sure I preface that they're free range and it is low fence that I hunt at. It's not a high fence. So let's get after it. Let's start in the big pocket. Let's see what we got in here. So I'm going to separate this into two categories. And the two categories is going to be clothing and equipment. So first thing is a face scuff. Just basically goes over your face and neck to keep you warm, especially when you have the windows open and you can tell that it's windy. I have lightweight gloves here, a true face mask, so just an open face mask here. A heavier face mask for whenever it's really cold outside. And then I have heavy duty gloves. The reason why I really like these gloves is if you can see here, my fingers stick out through the gloves. So when I'm loading the weapon or going to shoot or anything like that, it's free. And when I close them up, it keeps my hands all nice and warm, but it's as easy as that, and a magnetic on the back side to hold it. The thumb as well, magnetic holds it, and I have free range of my fingers. Pair of gloves. Let's see here. So I carry a 7 mag as my primary and a 223 as a hog gun or whatever. So still in the case here, I have my 223 rounds. I did recently take my 7 mag and shoot it to make sure it was sighted in for the season. So usually they're in here as well, but they're not. This is just an easy 223 case for it. It's a single shot breech action 223, so I have to carry ammunition, something like this, with it. Let's see here, where do I want to go next? This is another face shield. I'm not sure why it's in here, maybe because it was hot the last time I went. But just another open-faced face mask. So, a Rattler. So depending on when the rut is, and of course I keep everything in here, so a Rattler, basically, let's show you on this camera here, it pops open, grab both sides, and you can very easily I like this style a lot better because now it's completely silent. You can't make any noise with it, and it's small. They make the bag kind that you can squish around, but even in your bag, it will make that noise, even if you don't want it to. So this is actually, I can rattle, or I can make it silent, and that's what it's. If you want to search it, that's what it's called there. All right, moving right along. So I have a Grunt Coal, and the Grunt Coal I use is kind of unique. So this is what it's called. So it has these rubber bands on it. You can place these rubber bands to know, kind of like a musical instrument, in which areas you want. I kind of have it memorized. I don't need the rubber bands anymore, so they've kind of all just gotten thrown wherever. But depending on where you push it, you're pushing the reed down inside of it in certain areas and making different sounds. So something more like a, but if I push it in the center, or even higher up, as a beat call, or so I don't know. I've called a couple of deer in with this. I really like it, so I got one of these. A predator call, I've never actually been able to get this to work. I bought it because I thought, you know what? We have some coyotes and stuff out there, but I haven't really got it going the way I want to. So it's called the Nightingale Blasting Chamber. That's what it's called. I'm not exactly sure what it's supposed to be or do, other than I do know it's a predator call. Leave a comment in the section if you know how to use this piece here. So looks something kind of like that. I'm not exactly sure. So I've got a cheap pair of gloves in here, and then scents. In my clothes bag I use the 100%, the same one you always see, 100% pure scent killer spray on. I spray all my clothes down outside, things of that nature. But this is something I do use if I'm on the ground or both fresh earth. I wish this was smell-o-vision so you could smell it, but it smells like wet dirt. If I know the wind's blowing in the wrong direction from the stand I'm hunting in, I will pop a couple of these out. And the cool thing about these, again, fresh earth, is that I can take them, pop them off here, take this, spin it, and now I can hang it and the wind blows through it. It smells like, literally like you were searching for worms in wet dirt. That's what it smells like. The more of them, the stronger it is. In these containers, I carry 2 of them. But scent killers, definitely, even covering in a stand, it's definitely important. So I had a pair of Bushnell of the exact same thing, but I have Tasco now of these. I do higher power. These should be 18. These are 16 by 32. I think my Bushnell are 18, but my son's playing high school football, and my wife asked to borrow them, and well, I haven't seen them since. So Tascam, I like something small. I know that there's a lot better brands. You can spend up to $200, $300, $400 on a pair of binoculars, but I like these because they are small. They fit in a little bag. I can set them on the thing of the stand, and then 32 is about good enough for standard daylight. Anything better, I'll pick up my scope if I think it's worthy of it. 16 by, a lot of these are 10, and I would say if you jump up to the 16 or 20 by and get a decent brand, I mean, I know Tasco is a pretty decent, inexpensive brand. I think these were $25, $20 or something like that. But again, using these is fantastic to really see. In Texas, they have a one of our rules here in Texas is called an antler restriction. So an antler, if it's not a doe, which is no antlers if you're new to hunting, or if it has one unbranched antler, so one antler that's straight or completely missing, and doesn't fork in any way, is legal. If the both antlers are forked, the inside beam has to be 13 inches. So one of the biggest things for these is to really get in there. 13 inches on a white-tailed deer is roughly the width of the ears at its most attention look, with the ears straight out. So definitely my standard shot's about 70 yards, so that's definitely helps. And the last thing that I have in the main compartment here, and we'll go through the other compartments, is a set of good knives. So I've got a set of good knives and not so good knives that I carry in here. So I have fallen in love with the knives of Alaska. I carry a utility knife, just a standard buck, straight blade buck utility knife on my gun belt. This is actually what if I down a deer, this is what I use. So this one here is called the Cub Bear, and this is what I use to cape, clean up the small parts. It's very easy. These stay super sharp. And then when out to gut and things of that nature, I have here, I'll just make sure I have it, the Elk Hunter, which is just about the right size on a whitetail to be able to get in and gut the deer or do any of the bigger stuff you have to do. Once we get this to camp, I have a game cleaning kit that has the saws and everything else that you need to clean it. So, good set of knives. So say it's raining, it's muddy, it's horrible, blah blah blah. Sorry, let's go to this compartment. Anything of that nature. I've got a second set in here. So here's my caper and gut hook. This is a small Winchester thing. I think I got it for Christmas or something. Someone gave it to me. And what I actually use this for is a cheaper knife option if I don't want to use my expensive knives. Say I shoot a hog and I'm just going to take a backstrap or tenderloin. It's got a straight fixed blade and a saw blade on here. So just another set of knives that I have in here. The other thing that I always keep with me is I have zip ties. And I use zip ties because in the state of Texas, as soon as you down a large game, the first thing you have to do is tag it, whether it's a doe, an antler, or whatever. It's very easy to tag it. Take one of my knives, cut a hole in the ear, or go around the antler and put the tag through here and zip tie it together. So always carry zip ties in here. I have a pin in here to put the name and things of that nature on here. And then I also, my headlamp is actually, because I'm packing to get ready to go to the coast, my headlamp is in that box there. So I have a set of batteries for my headlamp in here. So I have one more compartment to show you what I've got here inside the bag that I take with me to the deer stand when I'm actually hunting deer. I've got a couple more things. I've got a secondary Grunt Coal. It's just a standard everyday. I don't even think it's branded anything. It's probably just a $10 one. What I used to use, just in case. This is the wool hat that I normally carry with me. Beanie. This works most of the time, especially in Texas. And then I know these are been used, but I also have some scent with deer. I think my other bags, I didn't want it spilling in here, has the actual scents, but I carry 2 of those as well. And that's empty. The only other thing that I would put in here normally is I would put maybe a banana or something to snack on. A soda or a water bottle, something of that nature in here as well. I'm actually looking for a new backpack. This one is just a small, almost like a children's book bag style. It just doesn't have very many different pockets, so I can organize my stuff accordingly. So if you have any suggestions of an inexpensive one, give me a shout. So I'm putting all this back in here. I would say the whole thing weighs maybe 3 to 4 pounds. That's what the total weight is. Nice, quiet, small. So with that, thank you for joining me. Deer season is right around the corner, so I wanted to get through that. Like I said, we're about a month out, and as always, it's not about setting a hook. It's not about pulling trigger. It's all about the journey it takes to get there. See you in the outdoors.